What are the key characteristics of neoclassical architecture? Have you ever walked past a grand building and wondered what makes it so striking? That sense of awe often comes from the principles of neoclassical architecture. This style emerged in Europe from the mid-18th century to the early 19th century. It was a time when artists and architects sought to revive the forms and ideals of ancient Greece and Rome. Unlike the ornate designs of the Baroque and Rococo periods, neoclassical architecture embraced simplicity and order. So, what are the key characteristics of this fascinating style? First, let's talk about scale. Neoclassical buildings often have a monumental presence. They feature large facades that draw your attention. The use of simple geometric forms is another hallmark. You will notice that these structures favor symmetry, creating a balanced and harmonious appearance. Columns are a defining feature of neoclassical architecture. You will often see Doric and Ionic columns prominently displayed. These classical elements are not just for decoration, they serve to emphasize the grandeur of the building. Alongside columns, you will find pediments, friezes, and domes, all arranged in a way that reflects classical ideals of proportion and rationality. Another interesting aspect is the treatment of walls. In neoclassical architecture, the wall is a primary element. Unlike earlier styles that played with light and shadow, neoclassical buildings typically have flat, unadorned surfaces. Decorative details are often concentrated around entrances or windows, giving each part of the building its own identity. You might also be curious about the types of neoclassical buildings. Temple-style structures mimic ancient temples, showcasing prominent columns and pediments. Palladian buildings, inspired by Andrea Palladio, feature symmetrical layouts and classical proportions. Then there are classical block buildings, which are rectangular or square and often have repeating columns or arches. In the broader context of European history, neoclassical architecture is linked to the Enlightenment. This was a time of rediscovery of classical antiquity through archaeology and scholarship. Important public buildings like museums and theaters were designed in this style to symbolize values like reason and civic virtue. Different countries adapted neoclassicism to fit their own tastes, leading to variations such as the French Empire style and the British Regency style. Studying neoclassical architecture in art education helps us see how historical styles can influence modern design. The clarity and order of this style communicate stability and authority. Even today, elements of neoclassical architecture are used in public and private buildings, showcasing its lasting impact on European architectural tradition. The use of columns, pediments, and symmetrical layouts continues to evoke a sense of dignity and permanence.